The Muppets are a very household name to the general public, with memorable characters such as Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, and Gonzo from The Muppet Show, and from characters on Sesame Street such as Big Bird, Elmo, and the Cookie Monster, along with many other characters we have all loved and grew up with, which was created by the incredible minds of Jim Henson. So, just a brief history, Jim Henson created the Muppets with his first television show, Sam and Friends, which ran from 1955 until 1961. From then on, the Muppets became a recognizable name with Sesame Street, The Muppet Show, Fraggle Rock, along with various others movies and specials. As Jim Henson was a great man with creativity for his projects, despite the hatred and failure he came across, he always stayed positive and never gave up on his love for his work with the Muppets. As on August 28, 1989, Jim Henson was in a deal with then former Disney CEO.
Hello, I'm Michael Eisner.
Sell the Jim Henson Company for the value at $150 million. As for this deal, it includes a 15-year contract of Henson's characters and films, along with his personal creative services, which this merger will allow Jim the privilege to be on hand for future Muppet projects, as this deal does include the rights to the Sesame Street characters. As with many projects were in the plans and before the deal was completed, on May 16, 1990, Jim Henson unexpectedly passed away at the age of 53. As by the following of December 1990, both the Henson and Disney Company couldn't come to terms and the deal was called off. But however, on the 16th of May 1991, just a year after Jim's death, a new Muppet attraction will open up at the Disney Hollywood Studios, which is formerly known as the MGM Studios, which you can still visit today.
Sorry, boss. Hi ho, Liberty Frog here, and welcome to Muppet Vision 3D.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode here on the Muppet Minute Podcast. This is our brand new podcast where we'll discuss everything Muppets from Sesame Street, from Disney, from Jim Henson's company. My name is Charles Tucker, and I'm glad you're all here today to discuss what else but the Muppets. We're here to discuss about all our favorite things with Muppets, from his TV shows, from the movies, from specials, even from his various projects, whether it's been known or lost to the end of time. I am a very huge fan of the Muppets, as they really encourage me a lot. My favorite character from the Muppets is Kermit the Frog, and I really look up to Jim Henson a lot. As you guys may know, I talk about the Muppets here and there, and it's obviously one of the things I grew up as a kid. From watching Sesame Street, to the Muppet Show, even to Fraggle Rock, to owning some of the old Muppet stuff on DVD. And plus, from looking on the Muppet Wiki, it's actually one of the good, useful websites, which I want to thank the Muppet Wiki for providing all much information that I had gathered, along with many other various Muppet fans out there. So, on today's first episode, we're going to be discussing about Muppet Vision 3D. This is an attraction you can still visit at Walt Disney World at the Hollywood Studios. But before we get into all of that history and whatnot, first we got to discuss about the relationship between the Henson Company and the Disney Company. Now, some may have heard the story before and some may have heard a bit of it. But just to let you all know, from reading on the Muppet Wiki, this is one interesting plot place, complicated, confused story. Thankfully, I have slowed everything down and kind of figure out which way to go. So, before we get into that, let's discuss the history. And like I said, there's going to be one interesting plot twist, which you'll find out later on in the video. Anyway, let's discuss how the Henson and Disney relationship started. In 1984, Jim Henson considered purchasing the Disney Company, which at the time was run by Rob Miller and under the threats of hostile takeover by corporator Saul Steinberg. The idea never went through. However, in 1985, just a year after, Disney and Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, or MGM for short, entered into a licensing contract that gave Disney worldwide rights to use the MGM brand logo. As on May 1st, 1989, Disney MGM Studios, which is known as the Hollywood Studios, opened as this includes working production faculties for films and television shows, a backlot, and the satellite animation studios for Walt Disney Feature Animation, where it began operation providers to the park's debut. Jim would once again have a desire to sell his entire company to Disney in 1989, and at this time, Michael Eisner was more willing to buy the company without getting the rights to the Sesame Street Muppet cast, as Joe Zancuni recalled that, and I quote, "In the end, at the end of his life, when he was being pursued by Disney, they had tried to get control of the Sesame Street profits as the Muppet franchise, and Jim said, in his quote, that is a deal breaker. They should remain entire separately. He said to me, I tend to leave with you in my will. He wanted to keep it in his property," end quote. However, since Kermit was so much like Henson, he didn't intend to include Kermit unconditionally, feeling that he should continue having control over the use of Kermit, which the Walt Disney Company did agree on. But however, during in the 90s, many projects were planned, but due to Henson's death, very few came to fruition. Among the Henson Disney deal that they reached are the 1990 special, The Muppets at Walt Disney World, and the stage show Here Comes the Muppets. Hopefully these two I'll discuss for a future episode, along with projects that were never has shown to the public, such as a TV series called Little Mermaid's Island for the Disney Channel, and the segment on the Mickey Mouse Club about puppeteering, as the sequence was filmed while Jim was working on Muppet Vision 3D. Alongside with developments in the park including the Great Muppet Movie Ride, the Great Gonzo Pandemonium Pizza Parlor, and an entire Muppet takeover of Disneyland as renaming it to the Muppet Land, which you can find more information about that on the fucking YouTube channel. These were all abandoned once the deal wasn't dissolved. However, with the Jim Henson Company on their end, they have produced an original Disney Channel series called Mother Goose Stories, but unlike Little Mermaid's Island, this didn't air until after Jim Henson's death, so thankfully this kind of showed the light of day to the public, as Jim Henson also pitched the series Dinosaurs, which Disney developed and released the series after his death. Alright, so now we have discussed a little brief history between the Henson and Disney relationship, and don't worry, the plot twist complicated thing is coming up very soon. We'll discuss two parts of it, the third part will come a bit later. But now it's time to discuss about the attraction itself, Muppet Vision 3D. Now before we get down and talk about the whole film and stuff, we gotta talk about the overall attraction of it and the actual pre-show.
Welcome to Muppet Vision 3D.
Jim Henson's Muppet Vision 3D. Get a taste for unique fun that bubbles over with excitement. It's a sensation that will blow you away and shower you with humor. For the finest in wildly wacky, explosive entertainment, Jim Henson's Muppet Vision 3D. We surrender, we surrender! Only at the Disney MGM Studios theme park.
Muppet Vision 3D is a Disney park attraction, as it's a 3D film based on the popular Muppet TV show, as its ride incorporates 3D special effects with in-theaters 4D effects with animatronics, lights and projection, smoke, and a live character performer, as this attraction was supposed to be called Muppet Vision 4D due to its pioneering in theaters effect. This was Disney's third 3D film attraction after Magic Journey and Captain EO.
Everybody hold on! Somebody get the map. Where's the map? Who's got the map? Fuzzball! Hooter!
As it was billed as a tour meant to showcase Muppet Lab's newest technology, as the attraction was sponsored by Kodak. The production of the attraction started in January of 1990, and this will be the last project to feature Jim Henson and longtime Muppet performer veteran Richard Hutt, as he was sadly passed away on January 7, 1992.
Jim did not cling to the past. He did not worry about the future. That would work itself out. And he did not live for the moment. Instead, he lived in the moment. Because that's all we really have.
Before guests are seated in the theater where the film is shown, they go through Muppet Labs, which is the home of Dr. Bussin Honeydew and his assistant Beaker. An audience passes through several office doors, as all featuring outlandish job descriptions and scoop movie posters of the Muppets, as guests are entered into a large room of Muppet props and boxes with humorous labels, as above guests' heads are sets of 3 television monitors where the pre-show features several Muppets are shown.
Ladies and gentlemen, could I have your attention, please? Excuse me,
Quiet!
Well, you gotta project from the diaphragm.
Thank you, Rizzo.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could step as far forward and close together as you can.
Oh, yeah. Get real close. You see, we're doing research on deodorant strength.
Rizzo, you're disgusting.
It's a gift.
Well, we're ready to start Muppet Vision 3D.
The pre-show film of the Muppets preparing for the main show, as it presented on 4 sets of 3 interconnected television situated above the audience in the prop room, as the pre-show opened up with some construction workers referred as boss, as he's inspecting the area and calling his co-workers Roy and Chuck, one at a time, with Chuck doing the work as the other 2 supervise. They're able to lift up the separate signs with the attraction logo, as right after, the scene proceeds to fall over the workers. Right after, Scooter appears to test out all 6 monitors to that point. Scooter silicones with a static remains, and he asks a technician to break it. After a surreal sketch involving a painter and fish, Folly gathers all members of Nick Napoleon and his Empire Penguins and lead them to the theater for orchestra rehearsal, as a chicken attempts to join them and Fozzie asks,
Hey, hold it. You're not a penguin, you're a chicken. I told you chickens to stay on the other side of the road. Okay, why did this chicken cross the road? Ah, that's funny. Hey, penguins, I got a joke. Why did the chicken cross the road?
The proceedings are supervised by Scooter, who's trying to organize the backstage crew while dealing with various interruptions for the cast, as Fozzie presents a new group called the 3Ds.
Scooter, excuse me, but where's Kermit?
Oh, he's inside getting ready.
Oh, great. I've got a whole new act in a 3D movie. Just wait here, I'll get him. Okay, get ready, girls. Scooter, I'd like to present the 3Ds.
Hi, I'm Dorothy. I'm Dinah.
I'm Max. Yeah, Debbie was sick, so the union sent me.
Debbie was sick, so the you.
1, 2, 3. By the light.
By the light.
Of the silver rainbow.
Not the sun, but the moon.
No, come on. No. Fozzie,
No, okay,
get him out of here.
Okay, come on, girls. I'm sorry. It's okay.
I'm sorry about
It's all right.
this,
I think,
folks.
maybe another time. Another
Come
time.
on, Max.
Hey,
Come on, get
watch
out.
the
Come
dress.
on.
Now, will you?
Oh, brother.
Soon after, Bean Bunny attempts to bring Miss Piggy Prosper a big musical number. As well, for most of the parts, the footage is the same on each 3 screens, as the film occasionally breaks into 3 separate videos for the purpose of the gag. For example, as with Bean being karate chopped off stage by a displeased Miss Piggy, he is sent flying from the rightmost screen to the leftmost one. As another instance, Gonzo would distract Scooter long enough for him to tap dancing with flower pots on his head, as this would have 3 apparently identical shots of a dancing Gonzo are shown to be distanced from one another. But when one Gonzo flower pot goes off of his head, the other 2 Gonzo comment on it.
Ooh, nice outfit. Scooter, there's a telephone call for you. It's urgent.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. I got him. We don't have a telephone. And now, ladies and gentlemen, while you are a captive audience, a display of tremendous tap dancing talent with the added cultural component of a pot of flowers balanced on my head. Hit it, Rusty. Yeah! You dropped your pot.
Oh!
Pick it up. Got it?
Yeah!
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Oh, and thank you. What about me?
Gonzo? Gonzo?
Yes, Scooter.
We have no phone.
Well, I'll run right out and get one.
Finally, after Scooter realized that there wasn't a telephone and being karate chopped it again, the penguins are gathered to prepare for the show. And before guests are enter in, Sam the Eagle offers a safety instructions as in the middle of the instructions, Gonzo interrupts Sam saying that Mickey Mouse is backstage. Which, honestly, this is a trick they cannot pull off today.
What?
Yes.
Really? Here?
Yes, right over there.
Well, of course, certainly. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an unexpected surprise. I have the great honor of introducing the one, the only, Mr. Mickey Mouse.
Hello, hi there. Welcome to my park. How you doing? Hello.
Whoa.
What?
You are not Mickey Mouse. You are a rat.
Rat schmat. Besides, they're tourists. What do they know?
Will you get out of here?
Okay, but do I still get my $10?
Get out!
Right.
I've got Donald Duck back here.
Will you get out?
Yes.
I apologize.
The pre-show was directed by David Goldman and shot at Jim Henson's characters in New York City. As for those who don't know what that is, it's basically was filmed in the Muppet Workshop, as some things was filmed in that particular area, such as the PSAs and the war show appearances, along with some series such as Dog City and the season 1 of The Wubbliest World of Dr. Seuss. After the pre-show, guests are entered to a reproduction of the Muppet Theater from the Muppet Show, complete with Statler and Waldorf in their box. As the hecklers and audience are instructed to put on their 3D glasses, Nickney Napoleon and his Empire Penguin starts playing the instrumental version of The Muppet Show from the pit, as the curtains that reads, Kermit the Frog presents Muppet Vision 3D, as the 3D sign starts to float over the audience as it to appear to reveal to be Gonzo, operated through a hole in the door.
Sorry, boss. Hi ho, Liberty Frog here, and welcome to Muppet Vision 3D.
The show Residence is briefly casted by Kermit, who explains about the acts they have planned on today's show, as he proceeds to the Swedish chef, who appraises his role of operating the projector from the theater, as Kermit then promises to the audience that they won't be scooping up no cheap 3D tricks, which this is a promise that doesn't last long.
You say cheap 3D tricks? Oh, and here's something I wanted to spring on you.
Walter, it's that dumb bear again.
Hey, Bear, you're not even funny in 3D. Oh, not you guys. How did you get here? We entered a contest.
Yeah, we lost.
Yeah? Well, my new 3DX is gonna shower you all with humor. Waka waka.
She's trying to drown us. What kind of act is that?
Mercy.
Better luck next time, Fozzie. Okay?
Soon after, we enter into Muppet Labs at Dr. Bustin' Honeydew and his assistant Beaker discussing their newest invention, which results from injuring Beaker to the introduction of Waldorf C Graphic, the world's first living 3D effect.
I'm Waldo, the spirit of 3D. Thank you, Peter.
This Spirit 3D computer graphic, as his name suggested, made his first appearance on the Jim Henson Hour in 1989, where he was the demographic expert for Muppet Television, as his permanent role was in Muppet Vision 3D, as he would engage with the other Muppet characters and the audience, along with attempting to get out the film as he spoiled the other's performance.
Well, I think that would be just about enough of all, Beaker. You may deactivate.
What? What are you... Watch it!
Oh, dear, he won't deactivate. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing to worry about, but please keep your heads down.
Bouncing off people's heads!
Beaker, activate the inflatomatic.
The what? You...
Hurry, Beaker, hurry.
Now I can start my own football team!
I have to try the vacuum Muppet. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, for your own safety, please get the armrest firmly.
Hey, I'm free! Taxi! Alright, now I'm getting out of this place!
This way, folks. I'm sorry, but Muppet Lab seems to have been temporarily sucked up.
Kermit appears, and after Fozzie tried to perform another 3D trick with a remote banana cream pie.
What is that?
Hey, Kermit, see, it's my new remote control banana cream pie. Hey, Kermit, watch this.
What? That's terrible.
You're right. Eat more sugar.
We're introduced to Miss Piggy's number as the audience is treated to a lovely lake and garden scene where Miss Piggy sings her little song, Dream a Little Dream of Me. She is, despite putting her best effort, is being assisted by Bean Bunny, who've been trying to help her out with her musical number ever since the pre-show, as with his special effects are including blowing a 3D bubbles that are mixed with real bubbles blowing in the audience, do more harm than good, as Piggy tried to get rid of him. Bean then hand her a water ski rope that drags her into the lake.
Muppet Vision 3D, which, fun fact, if you watch carefully, during the number where Miss Piggy is by the waterside with Bean Bunny, when Miss Piggy picks up the water ski thing and gets zipped off, you'll notice that because they had to do multiple takes and they couldn't risk the puppet being damaged, the head is rigged to detach. And so when Miss Piggy gets pulled forward by the jet ski, her head flies backwards. You'll never be able to not see it now that I told you.
Soon after, Sam the Eagle, who is also preparing a musical number of his own, shows up and tells Bean Buddy to go away, which crushes Bean as he decided to run away with Waldo. And when Gonzo found out about this, he freaks out and informs Kermit and Fozzie as the three organize a search party, as a walk around Sweetums would come around flashing a flashlight. As from hearing, the person who would go would do Sweetums training through the Henson Company. At some point, some guests would complain about seeing the live-action Sweetums being toward the end of the movie, as you can see both on the screen and on the film at the same time. As for the search party, there would be pre-recorded voices of children saying they saw Bean on the left balcony. Kermit asks him to come back, to which he agrees, only if he can help, which Fozzie suggested that he can help out with the fireworks.
Maybe Bean could set off the fireworks.
That sounds great! Yeah, and I'll stay and help! I love fireworks!
Okay. Sam, are you about ready?
Yes, it's a glorious 3-hour finale.
You got a minute and a half.
As we cue to Sam's big production number, a salute to all nations, but mostly America, as it features some Muppet dolls featured in It's a Small World, as the dolls are dancing and dressed in clothes decorated with stars and stripes and waving flags from countries all around the world, as a large band of dolls playing marching music featuring the 1812 Overture and Stars and Stripes Forever. However, things start to go haywire when Waldorf accidentally causes one of the musicians to get his head stuck in the tuba and starts running around for help, bumping into the others and knocking them over. Being shot off one of the fireworks, as breathtaking fireworks shot into the sky as an animation of fireworks exploding appear on the ceiling, as Waldorf appears as a rocket and fly over Miss Piggy. He crashes into the orchestra of penguins as the set is on fire, with Sweetums yells to the shut to turn off the projector and try to save the penguins from the flame, as it angers them. A red and white cannon was aiming at Sweetums as it flies to the Swedish ship, but the projection booth in the back. As the film strip to go balance off and blink, the Swedish ship takes out a large bus and shut at Waldorf several times, missing, to which the chefs get a cannon and blows up partly inside of the theater.
Everyone okay in here? We surrender! We surrender! What an explosion!
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to apologize for our slight technical difficulties. I do wish to assure you that no one was hurt, and this theater suffered only minor damage. So thank you very much for coming to see this demonstration of Muppet Vision technology, and enjoy the rest of your stay. Come see us again sometime.
They'll never recognize me now! Forward!
After Jim's death, his longtime friend and collaborator Frank Oz led the completion of the film based on Henson's idea. Oz was originally offered $50,000 by Disney to help finish the project, but Oz declined the offer. But when he asked what he wanted, he expressed that he was low on a pair of socks, that he could use some new ones. So when the film was completed, Disney gave him a basket of socks.
How do you feel about Disney doing the Muppets then?
Well, you know, it's difficult for me to respond to that without sounding a purist and a dinosaur. But they're different. They're not the Muppets that Jim had intended. And the characters are done by the same people, my dear friends, and they do a great job. But they're very sweet now. Their job is to be rebellious. Their job is to say, screw Disney.
They're cute.
They're cute. To me, I love cute things like little bunny rabbits, but I don't like pejorative cute. These are they're too sweet. They're not, and the relationships, there's no conflict as much as in the relationships as there should be. That's what Jerry Jewell did so well when he wrote. And Jim, we were all entwined like a funny O'Neill play, that we all had chains to our chests, and every time we moved, and that is fascinating. And there was anarchy amongst that, and it's become sweet. And so that, I feel sad about that. At the same time, I'm thrilled that people can see the Muppets again.
So I know you guys might be thinking, alright Charles, you just talked about Muppet Vision 3D in the Florida version, and obviously you're going to talk about the California version and the changes without discussing about where were the two companies at during this time period. Well, that was the original idea, but since, we're still on the storyline of the 90s, I figure we'll take a pause real quick and discuss about where the two sides company were at during this time and figure out how the Disney finally bought rights to the Muppets after 15 years. Now, as I had previously mentioned, around in 1990, both the Henson and the Disney company didn't came to an agreement of selling the rights to the company, which Disney was just licensing the Muppet characters into the parks along with various other projects like one of my personal favorites, Muppet Christmas Carol and Muppet Treasure Island, along with the TV series Muppet Tonight. But where was the Henson's company during this time is a very interesting and complicated story, which kind of sums up in the way you think about it. So now let's sit back and relax and discuss where were the Henson Company during this time and find out how 15 years later they finally got bought. The Muppets got bought to the Walt Disney Company. Over the next few years, the rights of the Muppets were passed around a variety of different names, such as Nickelodeon and ABC, as having a partnership with Sony Pictures. Now, this is where things get confusing, as around the year 2000s, Jim Henson's children sold the entire company, including the Sesame Street characters, to a German media company, EMTV and Marketing AG, for $680 million. In the late 2000s, after EMTV successively experienced major financial problems, it sold the rights to the Sesame Street Muppets to the Sesame Workshop. See, I told you it'd get confusing. And by the spring of 2001, just 1 year after buying the company, EMTV has officially put the remainders of the Jim Henson Company for sale. The companies that were interested was Hit Entertainment, TV mogul Hiram Stanton, Classic Media, Entertainment Rights, Viacom, and most importantly, Disney. In December of 2002, a deal was announced in which EMTV would sell 49.9% stake of the Henson Company to an investment group led by Dean Valentine, who was a former Disney executive and at UPN. However, in March of 2003, the deal fell through and the search of a new buyer resumed. It wasn't until around on May 7, 2003, the Henson family reacquired the Jim Henson Company from EMTV for $84 million, and the company was once again independent. Finally, around February 17, 2004, the Walt Disney Company and the Jim Henson Company announced that they have entered into an agreement under which Disney will require the Muppets and the characters from Bear in the Big Blue House properties from Henson. The parties signed a bidding purchase agreement with the transition closing in on April 2004 after receiving the necessary regulatory clearances, as it includes all Muppet assets of film and television libraries and all copyrights and trademarks, as the transition did not include the Sesame Street characters, which by this point were separately owned by Sesame Workshop, nor did it include the Fraggle Rock or other franchise retained by the Jim Henson Company. However, Sesame Workshop has permission from Disney to use old Kermit materials from Sesame Street in DVD releases and online. And ever since the Disney acquisition, Kermit had made some new brief appearances on Sesame Street in one episode of Elmo's World, Topics About Frogs, and on Sesame Street 50th Anniversary Celebration.
Hey, is that you, Joe?
What? Kermit, I can't believe you're here.
Yeah, well, you know, I was just stopping by the old pad for the day. I couldn't miss the 50th anniversary celebration.
Yeah, well, it's just so good to see you again.
You know, I'm such a big fan.
Hi, Kermit.
Bye, Kermit.
Hi, Frog. Uh-oh.
You know, I should help with that.
That sounds like a thing to do.
All day.
Yeah. Okay.
Good to see you, Kermit.
Good to see you, Joe.
As Kermit had also appeared on several covers of Sesame Street DVDs, such as Silly Story Times and Best of Sesame Street Scoops. As Lionsgate got permission from Disney to use the Muppet characters on the 2010 DVD release of Henson Place, Sesame Street 20 Years and Counting, and Dog City the Movie. So for those who have been keeping up with the story during the process of this video and still trying to comprehend a lot of things, I get it. It's very confusing and very complex, a lot of plot twists here and there. Believe me, you're not the only one. And plus, keep in mind too, I should have said this in the beginning of the video, but with the 15-year contract. Yes, there was a 15-year contract, I mentioned that with the whole storyline behind everything. So just a recap, around 1984, Jim Henson was thinking about purchasing the Disney Company. That did not happen. Fast forward to 1989, Jim Henson was considering to purchase his old company, except with the Sesame Street characters, to Walt Disney, which was require a 15-year contract. that didn't went through either as planned. But of course, with the Henson Company was doing their own thing along with Disney as they were licensing the characters. Fast forward to 15 years later, the Walt Disney Company finally requires the rights to the Muppets along with the characters from Bear in the Big Blue House. It's a never-ending confusing story, and I know some people kind of know it from here and there, but like I said, it's really one confusing, complex, complicated story that never seems to just end. Which obviously I want to give a huge thanks to the people down at Muppet Wiki providing all the information and providing so much great facts. That was a lot of fun doing research on. And of course, the YouTuber Some Boy Online, who's also a Muppet fan, he had done a video about the messy relationship between Henson and Disney, which I got some information out from his video. I was watching back again and again. So you want to check his video out, I'll provide a little tab up there or a link down below so you guys can go check it out. Make sure to subscribe to his channel too. But now we got that part of the story out the way. Let's continue on as we finish wrapping up and discuss about California's adventure Muppet Vision 3D and the changes of the ride has yet to come for the future. Around February 8, 2001, Muppet Vision 3D debated at Disneyland's California's Adventure attraction in the Hollywoodlands. This was formerly known as Hollywood Pictures Backlot, as the attraction was housed in a reproduction of a soundstage. So I won't be going into too much details about what was different with the Disneyland California's Adventure Muppet Vision 3D from the Hollywood studio version, but I'll just make this quick brief summary. In the later years, the California Theater houses several temporary sneak peek screening for new Disney 3D releases, including Thorn, Legendary in fall of 2010, Frankenweenie in fall 2012, and Oz the Great and Powerful in February 2013. As Muppet Vision 3D last day of operation was on November 1st, 2014. At first, it was supposed to be a temporary closing, but on May of 2015, it was confirmed by Disney that the attraction permanently closed. As on January 7, 2015, the theater at Disney's California Adventures began operating as the Crown Jewel Theater and presented for the first time in forever a Frozen sing-along celebration, which is a musical stage show based on the movie Frozen. The attraction operated until April 17, 2016. The location was renamed to the Sunset Showcase Theater and began showing Walt Disney Pictures film previews in May of 2016. And as in April 2019, the Showcase Theater began showing Mickey's Film Hall Magic, which you can actually check out today in Disney's California Adventures. Thankfully, it wasn't until around 2021 during the holiday season we will see the Muppets yet once again make a return for some great holiday carol sing-alongs. Now for changes for the rides, there really isn't much to say, as around 2004, Jim Henson's name was removed from the building original sign, because keep in mind, this is when Disney bought the rights to the Muppets, so they really didn't need to use Jim Henson's name anymore. As around that time too, David Guffman, who was the director of the original pre-show, announced on his blog that he directed a brand new pre-show in November 2008, promising something new for the Muppets, as the attraction was closed at Walt Disney World from April 2004 through May 14th. As for the update of the pre-show, didn't debate, but instead have a temporary pre-show segment with Constantine to promote Muppets Most Wanted in March of 2014, and in September through October 2021, the pre-show was replaced with an extended preview of the Disney Plus special Muppets Haunted Mansion, hosted by Pepe the King Prawn. Now, honestly, this is kind of a missed opportunity, which this series is going well good. I kind of wish that Disney actually extended their pre-show to showcase a bit of the Muppets Mayhem, which, hey, by the way, you have not yet already, make sure you check it out, streaming all 10 episodes on Disney Plus, and make sure you get the album listen, it is really great. However, in 2009, both the Florida and California Muppet Vision were receiving an updated remaster and reissue in Disney Digital 3D. However, by the year 2016-2017, other changes were made in the area, such as the yellow hot air balloon with Kermit's face, as that was removed, as a new marquee was created to replace the old one, as renaming the building the Grand Arts Theater, along with the fire truck, which was used in the film final scenes, was situated at the corner of the attraction exit, as it's been removed from the Muppet Stage 1 Company store. This store, which will feature Muppet merchandise with various Muppet songs being played for 8 hours constantly. Although not popular as it used to be, this old attraction is very entertaining to guests till this very day. And even though the Henson deal, $150 million didn't went through as planned, it's still great to see one of Jim's last projects still out in the public. Now, despite the rumor of it being replaced because it's in the middle of 2 attractions during Star Wars, I hope this ride does not get replaced anytime soon. Because keep in mind, this was Jim's last project ever to be made, and even though we lost one in California, I don't see the Florida version going away anytime soon. I mean, yes, Disney really needs to do something about their seats because they are getting kind of old, especially for this ride that's been around for, I guess, for 30-something years. It's really need to upgrade, but at the same time, I'm really glad to see this ride still staying strong, and hopefully in the near future we get to see more improvement of the ride, and hopefully as well this does not go away anytime soon, just like with California's Adventures.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to apologize for our slight technical difficulties, but I do wish to assure you that no one was hurt, and this theater suffered only minor damage. So thank you very much for coming to see this demonstration of Muppet Vision technology, and enjoy the rest of your stay, and come see us again sometime.
Well guys, that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoy. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what's your guys' thoughts on Muppet Vision 3D. What was your favorite part of the video that I discussed? Was it the messy history? Was it the attraction itself, or the pre-show? Let me know. I would love to hear. And plus, if any of you out there have went on Muppet Vision 3D before it got changed over to what it is present day, or during the MGM era, let me know. Or have you checked out the Muppet Gift Shop? Let me know everything. I would love to hear you guys' responses. I'll admit, this is actually one fun topic. This is one of the things I love to do and love to expand onto the channel, especially with the Muppets. These guys really help me a lot, and their songs are just totally amazing. I love the Muppets so much. I love Jim Henson's work, especially with all the things I'm going through now. The Muppets have always been there. So let me know you're a Muppet fan and how the Muppets really impact you and your life and all. Also, too, here on the Muppet Minute, we're not only just going to be discussing about Muppet topics with various subjects, which I'm going to provide a lot of history that I can for you all to enjoy, whether you are a Muppet fan or a new Muppet fan. But I will try my best to get on other various Muppet fans who have experienced seeing the Muppets here or there, where it's talking to the performers, seeing them at live performances, or have a good connection of other sort of things, which I can't wait for you guys to see what we got in store here on this brand new podcast. If you got a topic or a Muppet topic you guys want me to talk about or discuss, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear some of you guys' requests. I will try my best, all I can, to do my best to look in deep into research and all this other Muppetational stuff to look into. But thank you guys so much for taking your time out, spending a few minutes with me. And as I discussed about the history of Muppet Vision 3D, I know there's a lot of videos out there, but if you ever get a chance to go visit Walt Disney World, I recommend checking out Muppet Vision 3D. Now, I'm not really going to say that it's going to be replaced anytime soon, but still, if you're a fan of Jim Henson and you're a fan of the Muppets, go check it out. It was one of Jim's last projects, and thankfully it's still around today. But stay tuned for the next episode here on the Muppet Minute, because we're not done with our Muppet Disney story just yet. No sirree. Because the next topic we're going to be discussing about is Here Come the Muppets, and another Muppet attraction that includes the walkarounds. It will have a little bit of information here and there, but I'll try my best I can to look into it. But hey, let me know in the comments below what you guys want to see next. Until then, y'all stay cool and stay constant cheesy. And I'll see y'all next time here on the Muppet Minute.
Muppet.